What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scythe, and we are back again some more Trove. And today we're going to be talking about this year's St. Qubeslick event, which does not just roll right off the tongue. Qubeslick. Like, it sounds like vomit, man. I know what they're trying to do. It's like St. Patrick's Day, but it's with Qubeslick instead. They could have called it Cubic Day. That would have been way better than Qubeslick. Already off to a negative start. You guys want to know whether you get anything worthwhile out of this update or out of this event? Honestly, you don't. You can just end up outright avoiding it. In short, I'll just summarize. The event itself is going to take you like 5 hours or something like that, and ultimately you don't end up getting a new item out of it. You just get a gold chaos chest as the final item. I just want to give you guys a heads up. You don't have to go and do this event. We are going to be talking about the ramifications of what this entails for Trove, because this is a preview event for Gardening 2.0. Now, Gardening 2.0 was originally an update that was planned to come out with U10. However, Game Ago ended up taking over, Trine Worlds got debunked, and I mean, all of that politics and stuff ended up happening around the time. So a lot of the updates that were intended to come out with U10, Gardening 2.0, Season 2 of Bomber Royale, these updates have slowly been stripped away from the U10 update so that we could all get U10, and now we're just getting the other updates a little bit later, and Gardening 2.0 is an overly complicated mess that honestly is probably not going to be received very well with players. I'd say that it's probably even worse than the Geode Cave update, because at least the Geode Cave update, for a while anyways, was content. It was something to do. Not that the gardening's like inherently bad or anything, but it's just compared to what we have for the gardening right now, it just feels like a mess. So we'll talk about that at the end of the video. So anyways, the first part of the event is going to be gather lucky dust. And if you, well, all you really gotta do to gather lucky dust, it says that you get it from dungeon layers and they have a chance to drop them. It's actually a guaranteed chance, and it's from the dungeon layer chests. So when you open a dungeon chest, then you'll end up getting the item. You cannot kill elite mobs for it, but you're gonna have to gather 30 lucky dust, which means you basically have to do 30 dungeons, whatever. It's not that big a deal. And before we end up getting to the next part of it, I would appreciate if you would hit that like button. It would help me out very, very much. Selfless promotion. You're gonna end up getting 10 normal chaos chests out of that, so there's no reason not to do these parts of the event anyways. And then up next, you have to craft St. Qubeslick's Clover Seeds. So you end up heading on over to the hub here, or maybe you end up having a Wheel of Season in your club world, but you just go over to the Wheel of Seasons, and in the winter tab, there's going to end up being this Clover Seed. So this is going to be for 20 lucky dust, which essentially is going to be 20 dungeons. I guess I can just craft one just to show you guys this, and that would end up giving you a rough builder's focus. So that's going to be a brown focus item, gem augmenting item. Basically, it gives you 1% towards your augmenting of a gem, or should I say 0.9%. And then you have to plant the seed, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, because there's also going to be these lucky stars right here as well. So you have to go and plant the seed in your cornerstone or in your club world, which I'll plant the seed in a minute and show you guys what that looks like, but you're going to end up getting a silver focus item out of that. And I'll show you what the seed item actually looks like as well. Then they want you to craft 5 lucky stars. So let's just craft 5 of them just for kicks. Why not? Again, it's just lucky dust. You can craft multiple of each of these items, so keep that in mind, because that's going to be important in a moment. But then out of crafting the lucky stars, so far so good, you're going to be getting a gold focus item, which arguably are not very good items for this game, honestly speaking. But hey, I'll take it, you know. And then otherwise, I've been planting my stuff up here. Again, you can end up planting these in your cornerstone or in your club world. You're going to have to be very, very careful, because you can end up actually destroying these plants and ruining hours and hours of hard work. You can actually destroy them with the Vanguard Slam Down. You can't destroy them with physical attacks. You're not supposed to be able to. Normally, you would just end up using your Lasermancy, but we're not going to do that in a minute. And lastly, I do want to test out if we destroy a block underneath the plant, is that going to destroy it as well? So packet of seed craves luck. After this plant is spreaded, it can be imbued with luck and harvested for lucky clovers every few hours. No, it's every actual hour. I ended up getting a lot of help while I was doing this. I ended up having a lot of people telling me in chat. So the way that these end up working, because I ended up streaming me doing this event, is that every hour, so the same as dragon challenges, collection challenges, rampages and stuff, you know how those show up every real life hour, or a chance to show up every real life hour, right? So these plants are governed by the same system. It's gonna be every hour. So let's actually remove the block underneath, and you got floating plants. So we could end up right clicking it with our laser right now, and that would destroy it. But you can see ready to imbue or harvest in 49 minutes. But wait a minute, I just placed this down. That's because at the time that I'm recording this, it is 4:10 in the morning. So we've essentially got 50 minutes or less than 50 minutes to wait for the next hour, which would be 5 a.m. for me, so that we could end up imbuing it with a one of these lucky stars. So that's how you end up planting these down, and then you'll end up getting to the next part of the quest, which is to imbue your clover with luck. So that is quite literally going to be throwing the star at it. So this is where you can either sit and wait like an idiot, like I was going to do for the first 5 hours, because I thought, oh, you can only craft one of these? That's stupid. No, you can craft a whole herd of these down if you want. You're gonna have to do a lot of dungeons to do it. So you can essentially end up planting down 5 of these, and then you can end up getting the imbue clover. You have to imbue it 5 of them. It can be 5 individual ones. So you can do that fairly quickly. Essentially, you're going to end up feeding these plants 5 times, and then you can end up getting yourselves 3 empowered gem boxes, which, I mean, that's not too bad either, especially considering that if you end up planting these down within the time of the real life hour, then you're not going to have a problem. Now, the thing is that these will end up stacking once. You can have 1 queued so long as you don't do it on the hour. So what I mean by that is, essentially, I could wait until 4:59 from my time that I'm recording this, and then I could imbue the plant, and then right as it rolls over to the next hour, I would be able to imbue it again. Okay, so that's going to be very important for the next part that I'm going to be talking about, because they actually want you to harvest a lucky clover. So in order to do that, you gotta augment it for the final time, and then on top of that, you gotta wait 1 last hour for the reset. Yeah, so I've been kind of joking about saying it as a meme. I got some plants ready for the video. I've been saying it as a meme, like it's like, I gotta go water my plant. So it's like, you could be in the middle of a movie theater. I gotta go water my plant. You're in the middle of a date. I gotta go water my plant. You're in the middle of just, I don't know, dinner at home, or doing homework, or getting ready for work. I gotta go water my plant. Because how are you expected to log in every hour so that you can end up feeding this stupid thing? Well, I'll tell you, there's a little bit of leeway there, not much. You can actually log in every 2 hours with the trick that I just mentioned before. So essentially you end up logging in just before the second hour ends up rotating over, so that you could feed it once, wait for the hour to reset, feed it again, and then you just log out for another 2 hours. So you can get this done fairly easily. You should set up an alarm for yourself, but a lot of people just ended up quitting on that part of the quest line, because it's like, why continue? Honestly, there is no real reason to, and this is where the disgusting part of the gardening 2.0 comes in, but again, we'll talk about that in a minute. So essentially, once you end up maxing it out fully, you press E on it. People were actually lasering this because they thought that they would just harvest the plant by doing that, but no, you just press E on it, and then we would have to give it more luck again. So essentially it would take another 5 to 6 hours or whatever to end up getting yet another clover from it and starting all over again. And all this item does when you end up harvesting it is it's going to give you 50 more magic find for 1 hour, which is useless. We'll talk about that a little bit more too. So the quest line itself is going to end up giving you 2 contained chaos spark, which can randomize your gem stats basically twice. That's just not worth it, like outright. You're gonna have to use the lucky clover, so they're gonna force you to do that, and then you're going to end up getting 25 diamond dragonite. That's a little bit better. That's a better reward. And then finally, this is the last but not least, you're going to have to trigger magic find 10 times, which can end up being pretty difficult if you're at the beginning of the game. Regardless of the clover, if you're at the end game, you'll have Magic Find trigger pretty much every dungeon, so it's fairly easy to do. But you have to have Magic Find trigger 10 times total. It's not that bad. You can just get that from passive grinding, and this event is probably going to last like a week or two at least. Probably 2 or 3 weeks, just because of how slow these plants crop up, right? But you're going to end up getting that beautiful golden chaos chest out of it, which I would recommend that you save. You don't gotta waste it on this week's gold chaos or chaos chest item. Even then, you won't necessarily get the guarantee of getting the rare item in the chaos chest, but that's going to do it for the actual event. Now let's talk about the ramifications of the actual gardening of these clovers and why they're useless and stuff like that. So if you guys, if that's all you wanted to see was just the event, I would appreciate if you would drop a like down and then you can end up moving on with your day.